صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بائر الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على البشير النذير السراج المنير سيدنا ونبينا وشفيئنا إن شاء الله الخاتم لما سبق والفاتح لمن غلق المؤلن الحق بالحق أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل عليه وعلى أهل بيته مظاهر جمالك وجلالك الذين كلامهم نور وأمرهم رشد ووصيتهم التقوى وفعلهم الخير وعادتهم الإحسان وسجيتهم الكرم. أما بعد، صدق الله تعالى حيث يقول وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه صلوات. Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I begin in the name of the most merciful Master, the most magnificent. He the most high is Rabbul Alameen, the nourisher, the sustainer. I begin by giving thanks to Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. May Allah's most choicest blessings be upon all the prophets, especially the final prophet, his holy family and his pious companions. And this is day 2 of 30. Alhamdulillah, some familiar faces now. Today I will speak about the Quran, familiarizing yourself with the Quran and actually using it to receive divine mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the verse that I quoted states that Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed as a guide for humanity with clear proofs of guidance and the standard to distinguish between right and wrong. So whoever is present in this day, in this month, let them fast. Here the Quran is described by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a guide for humanity with clear proofs of guidance and the barometer of goodness. And the translator has put in the brackets here, it's a standard to distinguish between right and wrong. However, the question today is, what role, if any, does the Quran have in our lives? Do we just take it out for weddings and put it on the girl's head as a traditional ritual, or does it just come out when someone passes away in the community and we just read it blindly, hope for some shifa for our marid and for our marhumin? Does it go beyond this? Does our relationship with the Quran go beyond this, or is it just circumstantial? We take it out here and there just because it's the right thing to do and it's become like a community ritual. And this is what we're going to explore today, that what is so important about this book, that the Prophet and the Ahlul Bayt have really emphasized it, and it's been described by the Prophet as a weighty thing that he has left behind for us. It's a rope extending from the heaven to the earth. Why is it weighty, and what practical and spiritual benefits does it provide for us, if any at all? Have we reflected on this book that may be gathering dust on our shelves at home, or just used for polemical debates where we cherry pick certain ayat just to get one over the person we're debating against? Is this what the Quran has become? And the thing is, if we have neglected the Quran, today is the day, and this month is the month to make the change. As the Prophet, peace be upon him, will complain against us on the day of judgment if we abandon this Quran. And the Quran states here, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ يَا رَبِّ إِنِّي قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَحْجُورًا. So the Quran states that the Prophet will say, "O my Lord, Ya Rabbi, indeed my people have taken this Quran as a thing that is abandoned." And this is the complaint that the Prophet will make about us if we neglect this book and if we don't use it to its full potential. So today I will take certain surahs, certain ayat of the Quran and see how we can apply it in our day-to-day lives, whether we're at school, university, at work, or wherever we are. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in Surah 94, you've probably heard this so many times. It states, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alam nashrah laka sadrak, wa wada'na anka wizrak, alladhi ankada dhahrak, wa rafa'na laka dhikrak, fa inna ma'al usri yusra, inna ma'al usri yusra, fa idha faraghta fansab, wa ila rabbika farghab. So it starts off with, O Prophet, have we not expanded your chest and removed from you the burden which was breaking your back? And have we not raised your recital, your reputation high? So verily, فَإِنَّ مَا الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا, so verily with every hardship there is ease. And then the Quran repeats this, إِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا, verily with every hardship there is ease. So when you are free, busy yourself in praying and then turn your attention to your Lord. And this is an ayah that we've probably heard many a time. Many a time we've sat down and read this, but not knowing or not reflecting. So today just sit down and reflect, maybe when you get home, and look at what the Quran is saying here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking a rhetorical question to the Prophet, and it shows us the context of this verse. Have we not removed you from the burden which was breaking your back? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is rhetorically asking the question. So Rasulullah was feeling some sort of burden here, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, did we not remove it for you? And did we not make your dhikr, your name high? And even today we see, I think in the world, I think the name Muhammad is like #1 chosen name in the world. So this ayah, there's so many different facets to it if you just sit down and reflect. And then next two lines are very pertinent for all of us. Ayah number 5 and number 6. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. There's usr and there's yusr. And then again, إِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. So verily with every hardship there is ease. And this is repeated. And this is really, really pertinent for our lives today, that remember with every difficulty and every challenge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, there is ease. And there's no rainbow without a bit of rain. And the end of the ayah says, وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب, and then turn your attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the key for us. The challenges are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the solutions are from Him, and we need to turn to Him, because this is everything that will help us to grow and become better individuals. And this is a short surah, it's got 8 verses, but the message is so powerful the more you reflect and the more you think about this. And with every challenge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, just remember, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never ever burden us more than our soul can bear, more than our capability. So if He puts you to it, He can pull you through it. And this is true if you look back on the difficult moments in our life retrospectively. Look how we have grown in certain situations and how we become stronger due to the challenges that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us. Hence why, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا, إِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا, with every hardship there is ease. And this is how we become stronger and know more about ourselves, more about our souls, more about our strengths and weaknesses. And this is the beauty and wisdom and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He will definitely give us challenges, but He will give us the solutions as well. And these solutions, we may not be able to find it on the TV or these other sort of avenues we explore, but sometimes open the Quran and open your heart, and inshallah you will definitely find an answer. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is closer than us to our own jugular vein, and He is wherever you are. And these are 2 Quranic ayat that you can find in this Quran if you just look close enough. So these 2 references I'm not going to actually give, so hopefully you've got 30 days to find them. And this next verse, Brother Rasul has probably heard 5-6 times now, and inshallah for 5-6 more times, in Surah Baqarah verse 186, and we mentioned this yesterday as well. It says, وَإِذَا سَعَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِي فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلِيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. So here, what's happening now? It seems from the context of this verse that the community are asking Rasulullah about Allah. Where is he? How do I reach him? How do I call out to him if he exists? And these are all questions which are pertinent today. And if you look at the translation, it says, when my servants ask you, O Muhammad, concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the supplicant, invocation of the supplicant when he supplicates to me. So let them respond to me and believe in me that they may be rightly guided. So just remember here, it says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي, my servants. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, constantly he will claim us as his own. And this is so, I'm going to touch upon this in the next ayah, and why this is so important. And from this verse, remember that when you are praying and supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he hears all of us. And he will answer our prayers. And he will send us difficult challenges. So once we went to Old Trafford to watch Messi versus Ronaldo, and we missed the entire first half. Imagine, once a lifetime opportunity. And this is a challenge for us. So what we're going to do later, because sometimes what happens is we have from this negative energy, and we can start getting angry, and it'll ruin the rest of our day. But our day was ruined anyway. But yeah, sometimes for others it's a loss of property, a loss of wealth, loss of family members, friends, and all these things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us should allow us to not turn away from him, but should allow us to refocus Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our lives. And we should reassess the role of the Quran in our lives. Whether we're at school and we've had a bad day, sometimes we don't open up to people. Just try opening the Quran, look at these verses that remember you're never alone, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always have your back. We need to recognize the tests that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending us, and remember he will never overburden any of us. He didn't even overburden the Prophet, who had perhaps the most difficult job of all. He had to guide a community that were killing their daughters. There were immoral people, highwaymen, gangsters. He had to guide all these people to become good humans. And the point of all this is never ever to lose hope, which brings to me to my most favorite ayah of the Quran, Surah Zumar, Surah 53, Surah Zumar, ayah 53. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It says, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. So this verse here, it says, say, قُل, O Prophet, that Allah says, O my servants who have exceeded the limits against their souls, do not despair, do not lose hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for indeed Allah forgives all sins. Innahu huwal ghafurur rahim, he indeed is the all forgiving, the most merciful. And look how this ayah starts off, Ya ibadi. Again Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling his servants as my servants. He's claiming us as his own. It says, O my servants, alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim. What have his servants done? They have transgressed, caused harm against themselves, or exceeded the limits against their souls. In other words, they made their souls heavy and burdensome with sins. Now what is the punchline? What should we, the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one Allah has claimed as his own, what should we do? La taqnatu min rahmatillahi. We should never ever lose hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a, he forgives all sins aside from associating partners with him. And again, just look at where it says ibadi, there's an extra ya there, and that ya makes the connection between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a direct connection. And this shows that each and every single one of us has a very personal and intimate connection with your Lord. It is just you and your Lord, and there's no cut-off time, there's no appointment that you have to make with God. He's always there for you, and you just have to call out to him. And it's not for a Muslim who has this book to ever feel hopeless or lost. Or if you do feel like this, don't let these feelings linger for months and years on end. When you open the Quran, open it every day with a clean slate. Bring your emotions of sadness, hopelessness and anger and whatever it may be, bring it with the Quran and talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala And let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reply to you through this book, and do not ever lose hope. The Quran states in Surah Talaq verse 7, Surah 65 verse 7, and let the wealthy man spend according to his wealth, but let him whose provision is restricted spend according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. And it says here, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما أتاها سيجعل الله بعد أسر يسرا. Again, we've got usrin yusra again, just like Surah 94. And we're just trying to make a link between all these ayat of the Quran about being hopeful. And it says, even when we give to others, still then, if we have a little, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, even if you have a little and you give to others, don't worry, I will sort you out. I will never ever overburden you. And it's not for a merciful master like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ever abandon or overburden his slaves, because this is dhulm, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is far from this. So remember, with whatever you are going through, Allah is there by your side. He's watching over you. He's waiting for you to come to him, and he will definitely come to your aid. And remember, سَيَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ بَعْدَ أُسْرٍ يُسْرًا. With every hardship there is ease, and never ever lose hope. And there's another ayah, I think this is the last one for today. It's Surah 65 verse 2 and verse 3. It says, whosoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way to get out from every difficulty, and He will provide him from the sources he could never imagine. And I just want to wrap this up with a very special man. Where do we see this God centricity and this Quran focused mentality shine most? In which personality? If we look in our history, it is Imam Hussein. This man is a walking, talking Quran, and I personally call him the domain of love. You can learn so many lessons from Imam Hussein, and he will be eternal. He will be relevant in every society, in every context, and in every time. And he has practically shown us how these verses are so important in his life, with full hope and conviction displayed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the plains of Karbala. If there's one man you can learn hope from, it is Imam Hussein. And let's learn from our role models, the ones who spoke the Quran, the ones who taught the Quran, the one who embodied the Quran and memorized the Quran. And there's one famous line of his, and I know you've heard it many, many times, and I will end it on that line of this Imam. It's attributed to him. He says in Dua Arafah, the one who has found you, what has he lost? And the one who has lost you, what has he found? It's such a powerful line. This is such a powerful line. And we shouldn't, when we come across this verse in Dua Arafah, just reflect on it. The one who has found Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, really what has he found? He's found hope. And the one who has lost Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will become hopeless. You won't have that intimate friend that you can turn to, like Imam Hussein did. Imam Hussein never lost hope. He was never pitied himself. So I will end it there, inshallah, and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us become more familiar with the Quran and take lessons from it, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our marhumeen, forgive us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us in this Ramadan to really benefit from the Quran and its teachings. Wa akhiru da'wahum anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Al-Fatiha. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Mustaqim siratal ladhina. Salawat.
Thank you, Sayyidina, for that wonderful lecture. Just for the kids, during iftar time, why don't you connect with Sayyid? I hope you don't mind while you're eating, if they're, so you can just engage with him. You can discuss some of these Quranic ayats, such lovely ayat that he sort of went through today, that, when we are in difficulty, we tend to sort of, start saying, why did it happen to us? Why did Liverpool lose after beating Manchester United 7-0? How can we lose against Bournemouth? So, after every hardship, there is a cup. So no, this is so serious. No, it doesn't. I'm sure if you find high enough, you can find something there. But no, the serious point is that we've got him here for next 7-8 days. So it'd be nice if you guys just connect with you, and then you can go through some of these or have some of these discussions with Sheikh. Bismillah. Yeah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن، عجل الله فرجه وسهل الله مخرجه وظهوره. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. دعاء الفرج. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن